Joining me now is one of the newest members of the Bellator roster. We got Archie Colgan here, man. Talk to me. This is a pretty exciting time for you. You're finally, I think people have known that you were going to hit this point where you signed with a big promotion at some point in time, but now you did it. So how excited are you to be with Bellator?
I'm real excited. Thank you for the introduction, Nolan. And yeah, it's been good. Obviously, I still need to get in there and go to work, but just the publicity that it got some traction, and has some good people around me that helped me get to this opportunity. So I'm excited to go out there and showcase what it is that I do and why I got this opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt. And I guess for you, what was kind of your mindset? Obviously, when you have a little hype, when you're coming into your career and people keep telling you, oh, you're going to go on to do great things, big things, like how do you maneuver when you have options on the table, right? Like, there's the UFC, there's Bellator. So you had fought for Eagle. You had done some stuff with them. So what was the decision to sign with Bellator, like the thought process? Can you just kind of take me through that?
Yeah, so obviously everything that I do in this fight game moving forward is all new to me, right? I'm not some veteran, not some seasoned guy who's been through it. This is all kind of new stuff. So I trust the people around me who have been through it with other people, right? My coaches who've done it with other people, management who's done it with other people, and then those people that are in my life, like training partners and teammates who have been through it themselves. I listen to them. Obviously, what they say is not the end-all be-all, but it's an opinion that I take into consideration when I make my decisions.
Yeah, that obviously makes a lot of sense. So I guess for you, what was their appeal? What was your appeal with Bellator? Why did you ultimately choose them?
I think they have a great promotion, and they get really good publicity, and they're on Showtime now, and they have a really good following. They do a good job of staying active and keeping their fighters going. So I just thought it was a good opportunity. They take care of their fighters. So I have a couple of teammates who have or do fight for them, and they have good things to say. So I just thought it was a good opportunity for me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I guess, again, for people, this might be the first time they see you or hear you. Can you kind of just give us your background a little bit? Obviously, you've got some credentials outside of MMA as well. The transition seemed like it made a lot of sense. But can you just talk to me about your pre-MMA athletic career?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised here in Denver, Colorado. Graduated high school, went up to the University of Wyoming, a Division I school, and was a 4-year starter there. I had 112 career wins at the end of my career. I lost in the round of 12, which is the round you need to win to become an All-American. I lost in like double or triple overtime. It sucks. But we're over that one now into new endeavors. So I won UWW Freestyle National Championship, Big 12 Conference Championship, and qualified for the NCAA tournaments a couple times. But just fell short in overtime to become that All-American.
And I guess then what was the decision to transition to MMA like? I mean, was it difficult? A lot of guys, they do this thing their whole life, or they dedicate so much time to wrestling, and then it's like, okay, now I got to decide. There's a fork in my road. Do I keep doing this? Do I try to do something else? What for you? What was it? Was it just you figured the time was now to do MMA if you wanted to do it?
No, honestly. So I graduated college. And the deal I made to myself when I was talking to myself during my senior season was that if you become an All-American, then you'll stay and wrestle and continue to train. I did not become the All-American that I wanted. But also in that time, I just kind of conceded and thought I was done being an athlete. And I just graduated, came back to Denver, started working a job, and was doing fine with that. And I found in a couple of months after that competitive drive, that competitive nature was not done, was not burned. So I did not just leave and force myself into MMA. It organically came, like God sent, and ran into the right people at the right time, and they started training me, and then we just took off.
And talk to me about some of those people that you have, like some of those people you said you lean on, influences in your life. I know there's some notable names that are in that category. Can you just talk about some of those important people that have guided you?
Yeah, so for starters, my head coach was Justin Salas. He was a former UFC fighter. But he also wrestled at the University of Wyoming when he was in college, right? So he followed the wrestling career that I had, and we just ran into each other at like a 24-hour fitness gym. And he was just like, "Hey, are you Archie?" And then I was like, "Yeah." And then he introduced himself, and I was like, "Hey, could we start to learn some boxing?" And I started, and then we just ran away with it. So he's been a very big supporter and guy in my career. Obviously, he's my head coach, So, but I wouldn't be doing this right now without him. Then you got, my jiu-jitsu coach, Peter Straub, who's helped me tremendously in the past year. Other coaches like Jake Ramos and Trevor Whitman and Ben Charrington, a lot of coaches. And then obviously my training partners like Grant Neal, who's also a Bellator fighter, Kamaru Usman, and Justin Gaethje, who some people might know their names or not, but I'm just playing. But, and Brandon Gertz, who also was Bellator high-level fighter, and just guys like that, and, who've helped, plant the seed and continue to help grow it within me.
Yeah, man, you said that so casually, Justin Gaethje, Kamaru Usman. I mean, for you as a young fighter coming up, are they just people, or is there like an awestruck period for you as well? Are you like, damn, like, look at who I'm surrounding myself with. I gotta take note. I gotta listen to these guys, maybe a little bit harder.
It definitely was at first. It definitely was kind of like that moment, right? When I first met them. And then you come to find out, they're guys just like you, and they have good days and bad days, and they want to come and get better, and they need somebody to push them just like you do. And and they just have normal life problems just like you do. And they have aspirations and goals just like you do. And you just come to find out, like, oh, these guys are, really excellent at what they do, but they're really just the same person as you. They're just, very successful at what they do.
Yeah, and I know the four names you named just at the end there, I'm sure people will gravitate towards Kamaru and Justin, but I know Brandon Gertz and Grant Neal, like they've gone through the Bellator ringer. Grant's obviously kind of was in a similar position to you, started out when he was still developing, getting better, and now he's a contender. So I'm sure that their experience that they're going to give you is going to be, that they're going to share with you is going to be great. But for Usman and Gaethje, what have you been able to pull away from them? Is there any sort of lessons? I'm assuming obviously some technical stuff, but is there anything maybe mentally or on the mental side, the emotional side of dealing with fighting that they've taught you?
Yeah, and one of the biggest ones is that at every second that you're in there in the cage and the clock is going and the fight is on, you're in danger. And you have to think that. You can't just get complacent and start to think that, you're running the show. Even if you've won 14 minutes and 50 seconds, right? You're still in danger for that last 10 seconds. You have to be aware, alert, and prepared to defend yourself and, reflect it back upon somebody. But also to just be in there and have supreme confidence in what it is that you're capable of.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, you got your debut coming up here. I know it's kind of your debut. It's kind of not, right? Because you fought for Bellator in a one-off, but now you're one of their guys, your multi-fight deal. What kind of first impression are you looking to make out there in Tacoma?
Oh, man, I just want to go out there and showcase what it is that I have been working on since my last fight, honestly. I'm not going to go and just jump on here and say I'm going to go out there and knock this guy out in 10 seconds, But I think that I'm in great shape. We have made a lot of improvements in my game since my last fight. And like I said, I just have to go out there and believe in it 100%. And the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah. And I just, as we were sitting here talking, I saw a text message roll through from Bellator PR, and they told me that you might have an opponent switch up, and then we're at liberty to talk about it should you choose. Is this a matchup you would like to discuss at this point or not yet?
There's not a contract signed, so there's not even like an official person that I can say yes to.
Yeah. So, I mean, for you, is it tough to prepare when you don't know who's going to be there?
Maybe later on the career, yes, but right now, no. I mean, my last Bellator fight, I was about to fly out and leave to Bellator, and they called me and said, your guy pulled out. And by the time I landed, I still got on the plane and landed, and they got an opponent. And, my opponent from my last fight with Eagle pulled out in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks notice. Like the next guy pulled in. And, so no, not at all. I've been through it a few times. All I know is that I'm going to continue to sharpen my tools, and, we're going to be ready.
Yeah. So I guess from that perspective, going along with that thought, what should fans expect to see out of you in this one? Do you feel like there's anything specific that you're trying to show that you've maybe improved upon from the last outing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, without giving away anything spicy, you know, I'm just gonna say that just expect an exciting fight. You know, I'm not gonna sit around and take somebody down and just hold them down for 14, 15 minutes, right? I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna fight. You know, I'm gonna go out there and put on a show, and we will use more than just wrestling. And yeah, I plan on going out there and just being exciting and having fun. And yeah, tune in.
Great, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Good luck. Archie Colgan, Bellator debut, Bellator 283 coming up here in Tacoma, Washington against somebody. Good luck, Archie.
Thank you, Nolan.